Hello collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Voyager class Skywarp from the Transformers Studio series from Hasbro. This is based on his appearance in the first few minutes of Transformers Bumblebee. He is number 113 in the Studio series. We have some nice artwork here of Skywarp in robot mode. Very, very close up of the same artwork over here on this side. And then over here we have the same artwork. So I just think it's funny. It's like different magnitudes, but it's all the same artwork, just how much we're zoomed in. Spinning it around to the back, we get some nice product shots of the robot mode and the vehicle mode. Now, of course, this is just a repaint of Starscream that we've seen. I think we also got it as Ramjet, so pretty much just our third time around. I'm surprised Thundercracker hasn't happened yet. Maybe they're starting to see diminishing returns. But in any case, we'll go ahead and get Skywarp here out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Here is Skywarp with the little backdrop that's included. I'll be honest, he does not fit into the space super well because of, his backpack and his giant wings. It kind of either, you have to kind of pitch him towards the front of the stand, and then he kind of fits. If you try to push him back at all, it just makes this whole bit fall backwards. It's just not really that great. So, the picture itself is also kind of boring, if I'm being quite honest. It's just kind of a standard building backdrop, just a lot of grays and kind of goldish tint to it, but all in all, not that exciting. So here is Skywarp out of the packaging, and I have to clear something up real quick. Earlier I said I can't believe they haven't done Thundercracker yet. They did do Thundercracker. I'm pretty sure I actually have it. I don't know if I ever got around to reviewing it, but I'm pretty sure I do have it. So this is actually our fourth time getting this mold, but at least all three of the Seekers are there and accounted for, so wanted to point that out quick. In any case, I think he looks pretty good. I love the purple. The shade of purple they used is fantastic. I wish there was a little bit more. He's got a lot of gray. There are two tones of gray, which I do like. Maybe I would have thrown in a little bit more of the darker gray, but honestly, the color palette is good. I just wish there was a little bit more purple, but you do get a decent amount of it here in like the core, the chest, and a little bit here on the thighs. The other thing I wanted to say real quick with the wings, this is how they officially show the transformation, but I personally like to flip these up. I just think this looks a lot cooler. You can kind of do something like this, or you can just kind of leave these like this. I mean, you have the ability to move these up and down. You have the ability to move these up and down. So if you want kind of like a more classic Seeker look, you could kind of do something like that. Or you could have these all the way up, or you could bring them up even more like this. So whatever you like. I just think these look cooler with the points up instead of facing down. So that's how I choose to display it. But you can do either. Honestly, either one is perfectly good. Head sculpt, I think, looks pretty good. I believe it's exactly the same as the others. I don't think too much has been changed there. Nice red eyes, silver paint for the face. All of that looks really good. You have your kind of two pieces of the cockpit there, here in the traditional spot, and then you have a little bit up there. Again, I really like the purple. I think the shade of purple they used is fantastic. In terms of articulation, the head is on a swivel. I think it's a ball joint. Yeah, you can get a little bit, not a ton. Kind of look up and down about that much, but you can certainly swivel side to side, no problem. Can't really tilt side to side at all. You have a swivel here in the shoulder, as well as a hinge out to the side, so nice movement there. Got a bicep swivel. Got, I would say, over 90 degrees, maybe even as much as 120 in the elbow. Don't have a swivel in the wrist because the hand folds into the forearm for transformation. You do have a waist swivel, so it's behind this kind of purple piece. Oh, and I forgot to pop these back out. I don't even really know what purpose these serve, if I'm being 100% honest, but I always forget to pop them back out when I'm transforming it back to robot mode. But you have these little pieces here. So you can swivel. You can kind of see that there is... Let me get a little bit closer. You can see that there is a swivel right there, but this piece is a little bit in the way. You can kind of lift it up a little bit to give you a little bit more maneuverability, but with the backpack as well, it's kind of difficult to utilize this, but the swivel is there, and then you kind of push that back down. He does get a really nice kick out to the side and a really nice kick forward. A little bit, I mean, the functionality is kind of there to kick backwards if you can get around the wings. So you just have to deal with that kibble, but the movement's there. Thighs swivel, 90 degrees in the knee. And then you have ankle tilt, really nice. I mean, kind of insane ankle tilt all the way around, almost like a full 180. So again, the mold is not new. We've seen it 3 times before. But honestly, as much as I'm not the hugest fan of these Bumblebee designs in terms of the vehicle mode, the robot mode's pretty good. And this is a solid mold. Like, I think, you know, the robot mode has some pretty good poseability here. He's dynamic. He looks good. You can, you know, get a little bit more expression out of the wings and everything, depending on how you like to pose that. But it's a cool design. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the vehicle mode. It's grown on me a little bit. I will say it's grown on me a little bit. But I've always really kind of liked the robot mode. I think it does look good. I think Skywarp here looks good. Love the purple, just wish there was a little bit more. But overall, I mean, it's a solid figure, especially for robot mode. I think he looks good. Nice articulation, good paint applications. I like him. Now he does have some accessories. So you have this large gun, which this little peg right here can just pop right into the fist. Or the open hand, however you want to look at it. But gun pops on there very simply. And then you have these other smaller guns. Now the directions tell you to peg them in here like this and have them hang down. Once again, I think it looks cooler if you pop them up. You can peg them in however you'd like or leave them off completely. Technically, you even have this little spot right here. If you wanted, you could use this and you could peg them in here like this if you like that look better. So you have some options. I just typically do that. But like I said, pose them however you want, leave them off entirely. It is your call. But he looks good. I do think the robot mode looks good. I love the color palette. Yeah, just really, really cool. So I've gone ahead and removed the accessories for transformation. We're going to start off by popping these sections. So I still don't really know what purpose these serve, and I most of the time just forget about them. But you want to push them down like so. You want to flip the hands into the forearms, and then you want to kind of spin them around 180 at the bicep swivel, and then just kind of leave them out. So flip the hand in, straighten the arm out, spin it 180. We can let that chill. However you have the wings done, you want to push them in, push this down, flip this flap up. If you're like me and you had them spun around, you want to put them back. So you want them to be pretty much like that. So bring it in, flip and flip. There we go. We're going to come down to the legs. We are going to straighten them out. If you have any ankle tilt engaged, anything like that, straighten that all out. You're going to flip open these panels on the shin. This one has an extra little fin attached. Bring these all the way over as far as you can do. Like that. Then you're going to flip this up, and this little tab right there is going to peg in here on the side of the leg. So this will pop up and peg in. Same thing over here. And then you're going to flip these panels down, and you will see that they will fill in this area between the piece you just added and what was the leg. Then you're going to kind of bring these in, get them ready about there. You're going to flip this piece of the fin down like so, and then just kind of leave that there. You're going to flip up the feet to fill this new empty cavity, and then you're going to rotate them at the thigh swivel 90 degrees inward. Just kind of leave them there for now. You're going to flip up this section. This top section is kind of tabbed in lightly to this. Maybe not so lightly. There we go. Flip this up. And then you have to bring these in so that there's enough space to clear this and rotate this all the way around. You're going to come to this section here and split this in half just so that you have the ability to flip out the nose cone and snap that into place. And then you're just going to close that right back up. You're going to bring this down. So what I like to do at this point is I like to kind of get one leg out of the way and then lift this up and kind of bring this down and make sure that the leg kind of snaps in where it's supposed to. You want to kind of line this up. You want that about there. This will come, and there is a tab right here that will tab in right there. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about. But you also need this piece to kind of be about here. So what you want to do, bring this down, kind of find the tab where that pops in, and this will kind of naturally rest in here. So I'm not explaining this well, but this will come down and tab into there, except it's not doing it. There we go. And then this will kind of sit about there. So once you have that in, that's how it's going to look. So you can see how this piece here kind of nestles in this little right angle that's kind of formed right there. And then that tab will sit in here. And then you can bring this one over and do the same. And then that'll also allow you to push all of these pieces together like so. These will close up and connect. These, I'll be honest, these are not the best connection, but they connect enough. And they just kind of sit there like that. So make sure that's all together. You got your feet hanging off. This is all tabbed together, and then these should be pushed down, and that should be that. Of course, I forgot to do the arms. I should have done these much earlier, but we're going to flip these around. Make sure you have clearance, because sometimes if these are turned, then they'll hit up against this. But bring this in like so. Do the same over here. There we go. Now the two hands will not peg into each other. You're just going to bend them at the elbow, and they will tuck under here like so. And they just kind of hang out. Then you're going to bring this down like this, and then we're going to bring the gun in. And I have to make sure that these are kind of aligned correctly, because these little tabs are going to tab in here and here, and then this big spot is going to tab on here. So bring this in like this and this. Bring that up. And there you go. There is Skywarp. I've knocked it off again. That's all right. I'll fix that in a minute. There we go. There is Skywarp in vehicle mode. So taking a closer look at Skywarp's vehicle mode, I mean, it's on par for all the others. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this design, and I know it's not the toy maker's fault. This is what they looked like in the movie, but just having this whole section of bulk here with the gun, it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing. I mean, these wings are not doing anything in terms of aerodynamics, but then again, they're in space, so there might not be any air, so who cares? I don't know. But it's kind of a weird design. Like I said, it's grown on me a little bit, but it's still not my favorite. But this one, you know, same as the others. So if you like the others, you'll like this one. You can also bring these guns back in. Now you have two options. Just like when I had them mounted before. You could peg it in there, or you could peg it in there. So if you like to use the tabs, you could pop this in here like so. And then you could just have the guns like that. Or if you prefer, you could pop them in that peg hole and pop it on like that. So you could have profile like that, or the profile like that. Probably, I would say, using the tab is probably the better option. Just aesthetically, you know, it gets it out from under the wing a little bit more. So I'll do that. But whatever your preference, if you like to peg it in the other way, you absolutely can. But yeah, it's a goofy design. I mean, you can kind of easily grab a hold of it right here and, you know, swoosh the thing around, which is kind of fun. And at least it's symmetrical. Like, I'll give it that. Like, this section is kind of compact, and you have the hands and the gun and everything, and it's symmetrical. I just don't know that I necessarily like this whole undercarriage area, but you know, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. And the nice thing is you can just kind of nicely balance it like this on the wings and the piece in the middle, so that works. But yeah, I especially wish there was more purple in this mode. And this is where I kind of feel like maybe they should have done the legs in purple or something like that, just to give, like, I would be okay if this section was gray, but maybe just to give it a little bit more here. Thundercracker had so much blue. He was like almost all blue. So I just think, like, in the robot mode, it's not bad, but it's mostly hidden underneath here in the vehicle mode. So I feel like maybe doing the legs in purple might have just given him a little bit more, because he's a little bland in vehicle mode, but overall, pretty good. And then just for fun, because I happen to have him close by, here he is with Bumblebee Shockwave, just so you can see that they are about the same size. Look pretty good together, you know, purple pals, and both have giant gun arms, so why not? But yeah, these two look pretty great together. I think Skywarp's pretty great, honestly. I mean, it is a solid mold. I've always loved the robot mode. I'm not a huge fan of the vehicle mode. It's grown on me, but it's just such a weird design, and I guess it's supposed to be alien, so I guess that tracks. And like I said, not the toy designer's fault. That is what it looked like in the movie, just a weird design for the movie. But I've always really liked the robot mode here, and I think you can get some really cool poses, very dynamic, especially with the wings. You can do a lot of expression there with the wings, kind of moving them around and everything, and I just think it looks really, really neat. Color palette's fantastic, articulation's good, transformation's fun. Not too ridiculous, not too over the top, not too frustrating, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I at one point during this, I was kind of thinking to myself, you know, why do I have all 4 versions of this mold? And then I thought, you know, one day when I have room to display everything, I'm going to be very happy that I do. I'm going to have all 4 of my Seekers, and it's going to make for a great display. And honestly, I think if I had to choose, like, between Skywarp and, like, Ramjet, I think the colors here are better. Ramjet was fine. They made him green for some reason, which I always thought was weird. I think Thundercracker color-wise is probably my favorite just because I'm a big fan of blue, but I'm rambling. Anyway, Skywarp's great. You know, I think you could wait for a sale, though. I got this as part of the 35% off deal with Pulse just had at Black Friday, but I've seen it on sale various places, Amazon, Target, things like that. So wait for a sale. I mean, unless Skywarp is like your absolute favorite of the Seekers, then, you know, get them when you can get them. But I think you're better off just waiting for a sale. It's the 4th time with this mold. I don't think it's going to be flying off shelves, but it is a solid toy, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.